Hi friends, welcome back to the TNT Lifestyle. I realized that I haven't posted many just lifestyle videos lately. There's been a lot going on with the American Dream TV show and real estate, and like I mentioned in one of my last videos, things have just been slow on the homestead. I did rehome the goats. We're just down to the chickens right now and not really sure what we're gonna do around the homestead. So today I'm just gonna share with you my little adventure. I have to head out to Post, which is about 23 miles south of Prineville, and pick up some real estate signs for a property that I sold. So I need to pick those up, and I figured while I'm out there I'm gonna adventure around, see what I can find. I looked at some of my hiking and camping books to see if there was anything posted worthy in those books, and I couldn't find anything, so I think I'm just gonna go explore. And then I have to take those signs to go put up on another property outside of PLA 2, and then just take a look around and explore the area. I haven't spent much time in Post. It's a very, very small town, and Paulina's nearby there as well. I think I've only driven through once on a response with the American Red Cross. So let's go see what we can find. Made sure to grab something to eat before I left the house. Tastes terrible, but it'll do, and got a good podcast to listen to, some bigger pockets, while I drive out there. I love how cool our rock formations are in this area. I don't know what this one's called. I didn't see any signs, but I know that we have other ones like Chimney Rock and Steen's Pillar in this area. This is just right off the road. It's behind a fence, so I'm assuming it's probably private property. There's a mailbox down there. But yeah, that's pretty neat. Well, here's one of them. Simple enough to pull out of the ground. I'm always happy to see when my signs are still where they're supposed to be. Look how pretty it is out here. So peaceful. All right, got a couple more. Drive all down these dirt roads now. Look at that view. This is where it starts to get a little more fun driving. My car is gonna need a wash after. Oh my gosh. The roads were not this bad last time I came out. Okay, that was probably the worst of it. Here we are. Got a rattle in my front end. I thought it was my tie rod end, but I took it in, and the mechanic said he couldn't find anything except for my differentials were a little loose, and really I'm not gonna pay to have those worked on for this car. It's not worth it to me. I just wanted to show you guys some of the views out here are just amazing. This particular subdivision, Riverside Ranch, is a ways off the road and has some building restrictions, but it's easy enough to get past those and apply for a CUP, is what we call a conditional use permit. So pretty unique out here. I mean, it's not off-grid. You see there's power. You can get septic. But the video just doesn't do it justice. These are unmaintained roads as well. There you go. Can you see past these trees? Some Mountain views on this side, mountain views on the other side too. Some of these back up to public lands, which is nice. Whee! Probably some good fishing around here too with the river right there. Got my signs picked up from the property. I decided I'm gonna keep going down the highway and go into Post because I haven't actually stopped there and see what's there. It's beautiful weather. I still have another hour drive to get to the other property to put up the sign that I just took down. I did bring an extra sign too, just in case, because sometimes when I arrive back at these rural properties, my signs are gone. I'm glad all three of these were still there, and we'll see if I make it home by dark. Well, I made it to Post, and they've got this sign that says there's irresistible milkshakes, and I want to get one. So I went to reach for my purse. I don't even have my purse with me. I do this thing sometimes when I'm loading my car, because I'll bring my lunchbox. You know, I've got my lunchbox, I've got my other bag of stuff, and all my other stuff that's always in the car. And I've done this before, and I forget my purse because I have all these other things on my shoulder. I do, however, have my checkbook in my work bag, so I guess I'll see if they take a check. Most people don't like taking checks, especially if you don't have an ID, but I have a business card that has my picture on it. I don't know if that will help at all, but I'm gonna try because I really wanted to support the little store out here. All kinds of goodies. I'm gonna get a huckleberry milkshake. What a cute little store. A little post office. Cute. You guys, that was the sweetest thing. When I went in to check to see if they took checks, they said no. I was like, okay. So I came back out, sat in my car. I was, you know, just thinking about which way I wanted to go. And this gentleman who was in the store kind of came out and asked me, he was like, do you need some money? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I was just, you know, out exploring and never been out here, and I wanted to support the little store. And he was like, hey, I'll buy a check from you. He's like, write me a check. I've got some cash. So I wrote him a check for $10, and he gave me $10, and I got a milkshake. And it's just, I thought that was really sweet. And he was like, it's strange that people just don't take checks anymore. I mean, it is a legitimate tender of money. And oh man, it's cold out here. I don't know why I wanted a milkshake, but I got huckleberry. They got quite a few flavors. I'll share a little bit inside. It's the post office and store. And Post here says is the center of Oregon. How cool is that? So apparently there is access to the reservoir from right here, but there's a gate that's closed right now. So I was trying to look at the map. I didn't bring my atlas. My atlas isn't in the car anymore. I need to get it. It's in the house because I was looking at something and it was terrible. When I go adventure, I need my atlas. And I didn't know you could get to Prineville Reservoir from this side. I think I'd like to come back. I wonder when this gate's open. I don't really see any information. There's some posted signs that just say that there's trail restriction in a couple areas, camping and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I might have to come back this area. I saw some people out walking their dogs, so maybe it's something I can even just come and walk and go for a hike. I know that the soil around here in Central Oregon this time of year, when it's wet and snowy or just wet, it's a lot of clay, and it sticks to your shoes and your boots, and that's one thing that I struggle with trying to hike if it's not actually snowing and packed snow, this wet stuff. And you can see there's like big puddles right now because we've been getting a lot of rain. Yeah, that's exciting to see. I like going to the reservoir, and this actually might be closer than going the other way. There are like 3 different ways to get to the Prineville Reservoir from my house, and it's got more water usually than Ochco Reservoir, which is way close to my house. And then there's this view. It's getting cold. The sun's barely even going down, but I wanted to show you. So I had to put a white flag in the ground to put a sign so we can put a utilities locate here. But this is what I was talking about, walking around out here. And these don't even have traction, but I can, so the funny thing is right here, it's hard to see, but there's like this trail of mud right here where these tracks go. And that's when the videographer and photographer came out to take pictures and videos of this place for me. They almost got stuck in the mud, and now let's see if I almost get stuck in the mud at this other property. Not the one I just left, but the one I'm headed to, and I gotta get all this mud off my shoes before I get back in the car. Ugh. I don't know if it's gonna work at all. Maybe helps a little bit. Good thing I've got, oh man. You know, Prineville has some very unique places to live. This particular property now that I need to go to is off-grid. I have to go a couple miles across BLM in order to get to it. The road is really rough and wet, and I'm not too sure how I feel about whether or not I'll get through some of these areas. The last time I came out here, it was dry, but since it has snowed and rained a bunch, and even my videographer was hesitant to come out here. He got partway through and he was like, you know, I don't think I want to go down this road. Well, I'm up for a challenge. Besides, I have to go put a sign up. Not like many people are going to be driving through, you know, passing by and seeing a sign. We, in the Gambler 500, would say send it because it's a lot of fun. However, I don't have a recovery vehicle with me. The service is not very good up here. So I'm gonna be on the more cautious side, and I'm probably not gonna be able to record as much as I'd like to. You know, some areas it's really soft through here, and I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go for it. We'll see how messy my car gets. It's probably also why there are so many of these side cut roads to bypass this. So we'll take some of these side roads for now and see see how I do. My car is definitely not rattling as bad as it was last time I was up here. So maybe the mechanic did do something to help it just by taking a look at it. Okay, I successfully moved my sign from one property to another. There it is. If anyone's looking for some off-grid Prineville, look at panoramic Cascade Mountain views, slightly sloped, so at the top of the property you would get an even more expansive view. It's an adventure getting out here. I've met them. They came out and talked to me last time I was here, and they love living out here. They've been out here for, I think they said 5 years, and they have an ATV that they kind of buzz in and out of here on. Sometimes if the weather gets too bad, they'll park down at the cattle guard and then ride the ATV in and out. But yeah, connected. This property does back up to public lands, and like I said, you have to drive over public lands to get here, and not too far from Prineville Reservoir, so you can probably find some trails that go right down to the state park. I know some of my friends who have a home just over yonder that way said their kids take the dirt bikes and ride down. So that about wraps up my adventure today. The sun's going down. I gotta get my way back through. All this, but you know, for me, this is my kind of fun, really. My car it's probably why I have things rattling and shaking and sound like everything's gonna fall off. But this is what I do. This is the kind of properties that I tend to sell, and if you're looking for something off-grid, let me know. We've got access to quite a few and more in the pipeline, and can always try and find something off market for you too. This wasn't supposed to be about real estate today though. This was just about adventure, and honestly, I mean, real estate does take me on quite a few adventures. This is how I enjoy spending time, is out in, oh, that one's a big spot, in nature, and it gives me access to finding some cool camping areas too, since, you know, this is public lands, and I can find places to come have fun. All right, I made it through. It's not that bad. There were a couple of shit moments where I went sideways, but not terrible. You know, probably go hose it off, and it'll be just like new again.